Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 38th year of Konoha. In these 10 years, the Kingdom of Light has undergone earth-shaking changes. First of all, the Kingdom of Light has changed 3 people. This replacement speed is equivalent to that of a modern president. Each person only serves for 3 years and resigns immediately after 3 years, and never covets power. Since the expansion of the territory of the Kingdom of Light, more and more people from all over the world have come to the Kingdom of Light to take root. Among them are not only civilians, but also some large and small ninja families. Of course, they are all families that Nara Hikari has never heard of in the original work. Among them, there are many very powerful families, and they actually have many Kage-level people sitting in. When he first joined the Kingdom of Light, Nara Hikari was still a little confused. Do these people have any purpose? However, after years of getting along, Nara Hikari obviously worried too much. They have completely integrated into the Kingdom of Light. Some families even sent their clansmen to work in the daimyo's mansion or join the Hikari village and become a member of the Hikari Pavilion. The orphanage founded by the Hikari Pavilion has built small shelters in all countries in the Naruto world, to accept some homeless war orphans. Some parents can't survive and will send their children to the shelter. The shelter will send these children to the Hikari Pavilion orphanage in the Kingdom of Light. In recent years, there are quite a few orphans brought back from all over the country. The youngest is just born, and the oldest will be an adult in a few months. Those who are old enough will be sent to the Hikari Village Ninja School to study. Those who are not old enough will continue to live in the orphanage. After so many years of development, the Kingdom of Light has a considerable population. The population of the entire Kingdom of Light has far exceeded that of the 5 major countries. The reason why it can accommodate so many people is that Nara Hikari used his ability to expand the Kingdom of Light many times. It is almost connected to the mainland. The Nara clan is now more prosperous than ever. The entire clan has been expanding again and again, and children playing can still be seen everywhere. Houses have been built one after another. Now there is a 3-story building every 2 meters, densely packed in the Nara clan. This is the peace that all the Nara clan members dream of. They didn't expect to realize it here in Nara Hikari. In the years since the founding of the Kingdom of Light, some people wanted to take over the Kingdom of Light. However, they were wiped out by the members of the Hikari village. Since then, no country has dared to set foot here for ambition. Every year, a shadow meeting is held to discuss how to face the rising Kingdom of Light. However, some countries have been scared by the beating, and they only want to make friends and dare not offend. They know that Nara Hikari is a master who will take revenge. In addition, while the Nara family has many children, Nara Hikari has also received a lot of rewards in the past 10 years, which can be said to be varied: characters, weapons, summoning beasts, devil fruits, various Marvel DC abilities. Everything is available. However, what makes Nara Hikari depressed is that after returning to the Kingdom of Light from the Kingdom of Hot Water, he broke through to the 6 paths level, but after 10 years, no matter what abilities he merged, no matter how many abilities he merged, he is always stuck at the 6 paths level. He doesn't know whether the limit of this Naruto world is the 6 paths level, or he can only be promoted to the 6 paths level. There is no answer for a while. Today's shadow ability can instantly enter any corner of the entire Naruto world. When the floating fruit is fully activated, Nara Hikari doesn't know where the limit is. Other abilities have also made qualitative improvements. Looking at the entire ninja world, he has not yet encountered anyone who can really fight with him. The Kage level is no longer worth mentioning in front of him. The guard team was established around the daimyo of the Kingdom of Light, and all of them were Kage level. There are 36 people in total. They are called the 36 guards of the daimyo. Any one of them would be extremely powerful in other countries. The Light Pavilion has also developed very fast in recent years. All the older generation members have been promoted to the level of Kage. There are as many as 100 of them. The completion rate of commission tasks in various places is very high. Other countries will have a smooth journey when they hear that they are members of the Light Pavilion. Of course, there are also those who are not open-minded, but they are all defeated by the Light Pavilion, or even killed directly. The young generation of geniuses in the Hidden Light Village is also emerging in an endless stream. All major families have their representatives. When they first joined the Kingdom of Light, some were just the branch of Lady Nara Hikari, with a number of dozens to hundreds. Now it can be said that it is also prosperous. The fertility efficiency of some families even makes Nara Hikari speechless. For more than 10 years, the number of People in the main family has exceeded that of the original or current one, for example, the Uzumaki family, at that time, because the land of grass and a group of small countries suddenly launched a war against the land of whirlpools. The land of whirlpools had to move to Konoha, became a family in Konoha. This is different from the original Naruto world, the Senju family. In the original Naruto world, the Senju clan experienced several wars and would always rush to the front line of the war. This led to the near extinction of the Senju clan, although there are still some Senju clan members who are unwilling to move to the land of light with Tsunade, but the Senju family, which has come to the land of light, has far exceeded the population of the Warring States period after more than 10 years of development. The branch of Hyuga Hui has also steadily surpassed the number of main families. The Uchiha who came to the land of light finally lived the peaceful life they had always dreamed of. Although the probability of awakening the Mangekyō is pitifully low, the Uchiha people don't care. They are tired of war. However, there are still many clan members who are unwilling to be lonely. Some of the chunin join the daimyo guard corps, and the other part joins the Hikari village garrison. The jonin will join the Hikari pavilion, and their children will also be sent to the ninja school to study. After graduation, they will enter the Hikari village shadow department. The excellent ones will enter the Hikari pavilion. Other families have also developed very well, and the situation is similar to that of the Uchiha. Let's talk about Nara Hikari's own family. The most troublesome thing now is Nara Masami. Nara Usagi is now the principal of the ninja school, so he rarely goes home. Nara Masami shoulders the daily chores of this family. It can be said that she is worried about Nara Hikari. In the past 10 years, Nara Hikari has brought back many women from other families. Now the 41-year-old Nara Hikari is still full of energy. All the wives of Nara Hikari have given birth to one child at the least, and 19 children at the most. This great mother is Yuhi Ran. Following Nara Hikari for 21 years, she entered the delivery room 6 times in total. The first was quadruplets. The second was quadruplets. The third was quadruplets. The fourth was triplets. The fifth was twins. And the sixth was a single baby. This was all thanks to Udatane Koharu. Udatane Koharu now has also eaten 2 devil fruits, medical fruit and operation fruit that it can instantly separate the mother and the fetus without harming the mother. This is the power of the operation fruit. Nara Hikaru never thought that one day the operation fruit would be used like this. This also makes Nara Hikaru's women very lucky. At this time, Nara was sitting in the office of the Light Pavilion. He was already 41 years old, and his appearance was frozen in his 20s. He picked up a few photos on the table. This is a group photo of the new term of admission. There are thousands of children in the photo. Among them is Hataki Tsukumo's third son, Hataki Kakashi. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them were so busy that they had to wait for the next few days. Nara Hikari scanned all the photos. He did not find Uchiha Obito. He saw no Era Rin instead. I wonder what Kakashi's life would be like if Hataki Tsukumo had not committed suicide and without Obito as his partner. Hikari, what are you mumbling about? Just as Nara Hikari was looking through the photos, Uchiha Fumihui walked in. Nothing. Why are you not at home and coming to me? You are so embarrassed to say that. You haven't been home for many days. Think about it yourself. Why can't you say it? Did you go to pick up some girl again? No, I'm looking at the new students this time. Oh, my lord Pavilion Master actually cares about this. These photos were the first to be placed on my desk this morning, so I took a few more glances. Oh, do you see anything? My son and daughter of Nara Hikari are so handsome and beautiful. Nara Hikari took out a photo, and it was his children. His eyes were full of tenderness, and he praised. Okay, don't show off for now. Tomorrow is the day when our son Nara Ryukin brings his girlfriend home. Are you ready? Oh, I almost forgot that the brat has a girlfriend. If you hadn't mentioned it, I would have almost forgotten. Nara Hikari scratched his head. It seems that I can't count on you. Uchiha Fumihui sighed. I will definitely be there tomorrow, don't worry. You get busy, I'll leave first. Uchiha Fumihui turned and left. Nara Hikari looked at the back of his wife leaving. Until the other party left the office, Nara Hikari turned his chair and looked out the window. The Hikari pavilion was built very high, and the entire Hikari village could be seen through the window. People were coming and going on the street, and snack vendors had already set up their stalls on both sides. It was very lively. Hikari Village could be what it is today, it was still the business model that Nara Hikari had accidentally told Tachibana about. Street stalls, this can promote the economic development of the entire Kingdom of Light. Some civilians without land can learn a skill, they can also support themselves, the cost of street stalls is relatively low, and the space of the entire village can be reasonably utilized. Each stall is in a fixed position. Hikari Village also has a morning market and a night market. Of course, in order to prevent riots, the Hikari Pavilion will send members to maintain order. Those who disturb the order will be punished, those who cause serious troubles and injure others will be expelled from the Kingdom of Light, and those who kill people will be taken away and killed. Of course, no one dares to do this, just in case. After the establishment of the Kingdom of Light, Nara Hikari and Nara Mitsuru discussed it. There is no order without rules, the Kingdom of Light also needs the constraints of laws, because there are always places that cannot be reached. After that, hundreds of laws were promulgated, all of which were thought up by Nara Mitsuru and some tribesmen. The first law is that innocent murderers should be killed. The Kingdom of Light does not have a prison. As long as you do evil in the Kingdom of Light, the end is to get out of the Kingdom of Light after being punished. The next morning, with the help of Uchiha Fumihuai, Nara Hikari dressed up carefully. Is it necessary to dress so formally just to meet my son's girlfriend? This is a big deal in our family. When the time comes, you should speak politely and don't scare the girl. Got it. Nara Hikari adjusted his hairstyle. Madam, why am I a little nervous? Why are you nervous? Why weren't you nervous when you said sweet words to me? How can it be the same? Then you should say less and let me do the talking. Okay. Just as the two were chatting, there was a knock on the door. I'll go open the door. Nara Hikari walked quickly towards the door, very positive. Uchiha Fumihuai shook his head. He followed. When the door opened, he saw a handsome boy and a beautiful girl standing at the door. The girl was a little shy. Seeing the door open, she hid behind the boy nervously. Dad. Yeah. Dad, let me introduce you. This is my girlfriend, Kashiro, and this is my dad, Nara Hikari. Kashiro. Nara Hikari was stunned at first, then looked at the girl behind his son, then looked at his son. Hello, uncle. Yeah, okay. She's not from the land of light, right? Nara Hikari still asked the question in his heart. Yes, Dad, she's from the land of wind. Okay, kid, come in, your mom has prepared a big table of food. Okay, Shiluo, come in. Yeah. Nara Ryukin led Shiluo into the door. After everyone sat down, Nara Hikari looked at his and Fu Meihue's first child, Nara Ryukin. Nara Ryukin didn't know whose talent Nara Ryukin inherited. Nara Hikari guessed it was Uchiha Fu Meihue's, because before he occupied this body, there was no talent to speak of. Nara Ryukin entered Konoha's ninja school at the age of 3 and graduated at the age of 5. After graduation, he also performed many tasks. He was promoted to jonin at the age of 13. Later, he came to the land of light with Nara Hikari. For the next 10 years, Nara Ryukin has been performing S-level tasks in the light pavilion. He has been away all these years. Just yesterday, he suddenly returned to the Kingdom of Light. Not only his girlfriend came back with him, but also a shadow-level strength. Nara Hikari did not ask where Nara Ryukin had been all these years, but when he saw the scar on Nara Ryukin's forehead, he knew that his son must have experienced a lot of dangers in these years. Nara Hikari is still very happy to be back now. Nara Hikari did not invite other wives to this meal today. There were only him, Uchiha Fumihuai, Nara Ryukin, and Kashiro at the table. As time went by, Kashiro did not look as nervous as at the beginning. Occasionally he would speak a few words. Nara Hikari was very satisfied with his son's girlfriend. His own offspring also started his own life. The meal lasted until the sun set. You and this brat can stay here with peace of mind. I will meet your parents in 2 days and settle your affairs by then. When Nara Hikaru mentioned Kashiro's parents, the girl lowered her head, and the happy smile just now disappeared, replaced by a sudden depression. What's wrong? Did I mention something I shouldn't have mentioned? Uncle, no. Kashiro waved her hands hurriedly. Dad, Kashiro's parents are dead. Nara Ryukin hurriedly explained. Dead? What happened? Nara Ryukin began to tell the story. Not long after Nara Ryukin and Kashiro met, Kashiro's parents were persecuted and died in a small-scale friction between the Kingdom of Wind and the Kingdom of Grass. The scar on Nara Ryuken's forehead was left by a ninja from the Kingdom of Grass. Nara Ryuken was promoted to the level of Kage because of this. He did not choose to take revenge first, but took Kashiro back to the Kingdom of Light first. Dare to hurt my son. You are tired of living. Nara Hikari stood up angrily. Nara Ryuken was stunned for a moment. Jia Shiluo's body trembled. Dad, oh. Nara Hikari also noticed that Jia Shiluo couldn't stand his momentum, then he quickly retracted it. He sat down again. Leave this to me. I want to see if I have been away for too long and someone has forgotten me. Nara Hikari, Dad, I haven't mentioned that I am your son in these years. Oh, I haven't mentioned it. That's not okay. You can't bully my son. Leave it to me. Nara Hikari was embarrassed for a moment. Dad, I want to take revenge myself. I haven't moved for many years. Tomorrow, I will go with you. Nara Hikari didn't respond to his son's words at all. Okay, Nara Ryuken couldn't beat his father and had to agree first, but he didn't expect that Nara Ryuken would secretly leave with Jia Shiluo the next day. Damn, this stinky boy. Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah, the child has grown up. Nara Hikari knew that his son had grown up and had his own ideas. He didn't know what to say. What made him feel at ease was that Nara Ryuken took the 3 ninja tools he gave him before leaving. With 3 ninja tools, Nara Hikari was not so worried. Arrived at the office of Gwanga. As soon as he sat down, Tachibana brought a basket of scrolls. Nara Hikari took one out at random, with 2 words printed on it. Konoha. Input chakra, and the scroll slowly opened. Looking at the records above, Nara Hikari was really worried about Konoha. Now Konoha is undercurrent again. The number of battles between the Fire Country's border scouts became more and more frequent, the casualties were also increasing. Other countries began to spy on Konoha's troop deployment on the border. It was obvious that they were ready to invade Konoha again. Nara Hikari knew that this was all because he left Konoha. The countries had no scruples. Nara Hikari was for Uzumaki Mito's last wish. During the Second Ninja World War, Nara Hikari arranged his disciples Kato Dan and Hirako, members of the Light Pavilion Hideyoshi and Hitaki Suya, and Tsuna to participate in the war. It was also the last farewell battle. The Second Ninja World War ended hastily in just a few months. In the original Naruto world, the Second Ninja World War lasted for a full 10 years. In the end, with the support of Minato Namikaze, Shisui Uchiha and other strong men, the Second Ninja World War ended. But Konoha suffered heavy losses, and countless chunin and jonin lost. Many families gradually declined. After the war, although the Second Ninja World War broke out several years earlier, with the intervention of Nara Hikaru, Konoha was once again safe and sound in the Ninja World War. Just like the damage in the First Ninja World War, Konoha has hardly suffered too many casualties, except for the battlefield where Uchiha was, of course. But now it is not so lucky. More than a decade of power accumulation has made the strength of the ninja villages of all countries reach a height that the original Naruto world has never had. Strong men who are famous in the ninja world emerge endlessly. The pressure faced by Konoha this time has doubled. This time Konoha can only rely on themselves. Although Konoha lost a large part of its population when Nara Hikaru left, it is not because of this that the strong men are dying out. At present, Konoha has 3 Kage-level people of the older generation, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Mito Kato-en, and Akimichi Tofu. Hiruzen's 3 students Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Marino Ishizumi are also senior Kage-level people. The current head of the Uchiha clan is Uchiha Akari, and the current head of the Hyuga clan is Hyuga Hibiki. There are also some clan heads, as well as more than 20 Kage-level strongmen who have grown up among the civilians in recent years. This is several times more powerful than the original world. At this time, Orochimaru did not leave the village, and Jiraiya did not travel. The Third Ninja World War was supported by important figures such as Sarutobi Hiruzen, Namikaze Minato, Uchiha Shisui, and the 2 brothers Hyuga Hayashi and Hizashi, who supported the entire Fire Country battlefield. There was also an unexpected Might Dai who made an amazing move to turn the 7 ninja swordsmen into the 3 auspicious treasures. He finally ended the 3 wars, however. There are only 3 generations of Kage-level people among them, Namikaze Minato who learned from Jiraiya, and Shursui who opened the Mangekyō, the others are only elite jonin. Normally, Might Dai is still just a genin. Only by opening the 8th gate of the 8 gates of ninja can one have the strength of an elite jonin, but now Konoha is several times stronger. However, the enemy they are about to face also has a larger number of strong men. The only thing to be thankful for is that Konoha has a very considerable number of elite jonin. There are nearly 200 of them. This is the information about Konoha recorded on this scroll. The Namikaze Minato in this world was born 2 years later than in the original world. Now Namikaze Minato is only 11 years old, and the ninjas of the same generation as Namikaze Minato have not grown up yet. Maybe they are not enough to contribute to this war. Nara Hikari continued to read. This time, not only the other 4 of the 5 countries sent ninja troops to the border of the land of fire, some small countries also sent troops at the same time. Their goals are very consistent, and all the spearheads are pointed at Konoha. This time the entire Naruto world has put enough pressure on Konoha. After reading all the news recorded in the scroll, Nara Hikari couldn't help but sigh. It seems that every time the 4 major countries fight, aim at Konoha. Nara Hikari has lived in the land of fire for quite a while, but Nara Hikari thinks that the land of fire's resources are not as good as the land of earth. The only advantage is the geographical location. Nara Hikari guessed that the land of fire was always targeted by other countries. On the one hand, it may be because of the resources and land of fire. On the other hand, Nara Hikari guessed that it may be the hatred accumulated over the years. The hatred between the 4 major countries and Konoha cannot be resolved. Putting the scroll aside, Nara Hikari took out another scroll. The words, Hidden Mist Village, were printed on the scroll. Enter chakra to open it. After reading the whole article, 2 things caught Nara Hikari's attention. The first thing, the personality of the 3rd Mizukage suddenly changed. He was no longer like Hiruzen, who only thought about the balance of the Hidden Mist Village and the pursuit of a comfortable life. Therefore, there are indeed fewer rebellious ninjas in the Hidden Mist Village in recent years. The 3rd Mizukage, like the 2nd Kazekage, began to vigorously support the forces in the village, just to become stronger quickly. Because he saw the importance of a truly strong person to a village, he cherished every bit of the fighting power of the Hidden Mist Village. The second thing, the Hidden Mist Village abolished the 7 ninja swordsmen and changed it to the 72 ninja swordsmen, recorded on the scroll. The 3rd Mizukage suddenly approached all the forging masters in the village. He spent a lot of money to ask for more weapons with special abilities. This was the decision made by the 3rd Mizukage after hearing that Nara Hikari had a weapon that could transform. He didn't know how Nara Hikari's weapon was made, so he simply chose to find another way to make weapons. The plan was that the more the better. With the brainstorming of the entire Hidden Mist Village, a total of 72 weapons with different abilities were made. The 3rd Mizukage was overjoyed when he learned about it. He immediately summoned the power of the entire village and began to select candidates who could inherit the weapon. In a few years, the 3rd Mizukage had gathered the users of 72 weapons. The 3rd Mizukage was named the 72 Ninja Sword Stars. The first 12 of the 72 stars were at the level of Kage, and the rest were all elite jonin. Their combat power was unprecedented. Nara Hikari put down the scroll, then he picked up another scroll. The word Sound Village were printed on it. After opening it, Nara Hikari frowned. Orochimaru did not betray Konoha, but the Sound Country was still established. However, the members of the Light Pavilion did not get any news about the leader of the Sound Village. This guy always appeared and disappeared, and the members of the Light Pavilion could not get any useful information. However, they still caught a little clue. This man showed his true face for a moment when he appeared once. The scroll recorded a bandage on his face and a cross scar on his chin. Danzo. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The new situation is getting more serious. Of course, Nara Hikari's powerful strength not only affects the Water Country, but also the Wind Country, the Earth Country, the Lightning Country, and other big countries, as well as all the small and medium-sized countries in the Naruto world. It is also to guard against Nara Hikari and make a series of preparations. There will no longer be a situation like in the original world where the rest of the forces in the village are suppressed for personal interests. There will also be no fear of not being able to suppress, causing the village to fall into internal friction and weakening the village's strength. Nara Hikari looked through the current development trends of various countries one by one. The third-generation Reikage AI of the Hidden Cloud Village in the Lightning Country vigorously reformed the power system in the village. A large number of powerful ninjas with bloodline limits have emerged. The current comprehensive strength has surpassed Konoha. There are as many as 40 Kage-level warriors. There are countless elite jonins. Moreover, under the leadership of the third Reikage, a large number of tailed beast weapons were created by combining the tailed beasts. At this moment, the Hidden Cloud Village is in the limelight. The third Tsuchikage Anoki of the Hidden Rock Village in the Land of Earth took office many years earlier than in the original world. Anoki is still a relatively kind person. He has always adopted a soft policy towards other people in the Hidden Rock Village. The current Hidden Rock Village not only has a powerful blasting team, it has hundreds of members. There is also another newly established department, the Assault Team. In addition to the Kage-level warriors who have already joined the blasting team, the rest of the Kage-level warriors will join the Assault Team. Of course, the Assault Team is not only Kage-level, but also has a considerable number of elite jonins. The Hidden Rock Village currently has 24 Kage-level warriors. There are also many powerful jonins and elite jonins. The loss of the Four Tails has little impact on the current Iwagakure village. Luo Jie, the fourth Kazekage of Sand Village in the Wind Country. Luo Jie not only pays attention to the elites of the village, but also pays special attention to ordinary ninjas. Unlike the fourth Kazekage Luo Sha in the original world, who only focused on cultivating elites because the village had few people, under Luo Jie's new policy, the population of Sand Village has increased dramatically. Many strong people have also emerged. Luo Jie not only pays attention to the use of puppetry and the development of the One-Tails, but also conducts a lot of technical strategies. This has increased the comprehensive strength of the village by dozens of times. Although there are only 19 Kage-level strongmen in Sand Village, the tailed beast weapons developed using the One-Tails should not be underestimated. Kage-level strongmen have also emerged in other small countries. Nara Hikari closed the last scroll in the basket. Konoha. Nara Hikari muttered the name. Anything else? He looked up at Tachibana, who had not left. Generally speaking, after delivering the daily intelligence scrolls to the office, Tachibana sometimes chats with Nara Hikari, but most of the time she will leave directly to do something. Standing here for so long today, Nara Hikari felt that something must be wrong. Light, Jean has figured it out. Jean. Nara Hikari was stunned for a moment, and then he remembered that it was Jean, the tailless tailed beast he brought back from the Four-Beast Village. You agree? Well, I don't need it now. That's right, you have eaten the devil fruit, and now even if you don't have it, no one can threaten you. Well, that's what I think. Tachibana looked at Nara Hikari. Now she is also the mother of 6 children. In addition to being Nara Hikari's secretary, she is at home taking care of her husband and children. Okay, go find Fuso or Q Shinhui, they will help you. Okay, then I'm leaving. Tachibana turned and left. Nara Hikari threw his whole body on the chair. He stretched comfortably. Congratulations to the host Yoshizawa Kaihui for being pregnant and gaining superpowers and super speed. The voice of the system suddenly sounded in his mind. Extract. As soon as Nara Hikari said the word extract, a force entered his body. He felt his body was much lighter. He stood up, opened the window and flew out directly. Then he quickly took off, until he came under the clouds. Swoosh. Nara Hikari did not release the propulsion of the explosion fruit, nor did he release the floating ability of the floating fruit. He just relied on his body to accelerate directly to the distance. In an instant, Nara Hikari disappeared from the spot. The moment he stabilized his body, he had already arrived above Konoha, looking at the Konoha ninja village under his feet. Then he changed direction and continued to accelerate, this time arriving above the Kingdom of Wind. Nara Hikari calculated these 2 flights, and only a few seconds had passed. That's all. Oh my god, is this super speed? Nara Hikari was a little excited. He disappeared instantly and returned to the Hikari village Hikari office. He closed his eyes and felt the changes in this body after getting super speed. It was still the 6 paths level. There was no change. Just when he was confused, a member of the Hikari walked in. Master, the third Mizukage is here. Huh? Where is he? I've entered the village. Okay. After waiting for more than 10 minutes, the door was knocked. A familiar face appeared at the door. It was the third Mizukage who hadn't been seen for 10 years. The third Mizukage at this time had matured a lot. Master. The third Mizukage is here. please sit down. Nara Hikari looked at the three women behind him. They wouldn't come to send again, master, many countries are attacking the land of fire this time. I wonder if you will help Konoha as before. The third Mizukichi thought about it and asked the purpose of this visit. Not necessarily. The third Mizukichi was puzzled. Damn, not necessarily means something. Help is help, not help is not help, don't say not necessarily. The third Mizukichi was very calm on the surface, but his heart was already in turmoil. Not to help or to help, I need a reason. The third Mizukichi understood instantly. Master, let me introduce you to the three people behind me. The third Mizukichi understood instantly and changed the subject instantly. Their names are Ayane, Sachiko, and Yumiko, all of whom are top beauties from the hidden mist village in the land of water. The third Mizukichi winked. You still understand me? Nara Hikari laughed. You will stay here in the future. Yes, Master Mizukichi. The third Mizukichi stood up from the sofa. Then Master, I won't bother you anymore. Well, okay. The third Mizukichi got a satisfactory answer, and left with two Mizukichi guards. After watching him leave, Nara Hikari looked at the three girls. The third Mizukichi is still considerate. Tachibana. Nara Hikari called out to the door, and Tachibana soon came to the office. When he saw the three girls, he frowned. You're looking for me? Arrange them three. Where? Tachibana's face suddenly became unfriendly. Just arrange them at home. Nara Hikari wanted to say that he would arrange them at the Gwanga building, then he thought it was not good, and he saw that Tachibana's face was not right, quickly changed his words. Okay. The three girls almost couldn't help laughing, and then quickly covered their mouths. Come with me. Yes. The three girls left. Nara Hikari rubbed his hands. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day after the third Mizukichi left, Nara Hikaru's wife Akimichi Yen came to him. In fact, although Akimichi Yen is a member of the Akimichi clan, she is not as fat as others. She has a well-proportioned and plump figure. She has a thin waist, fat hips and big breasts. Now she has eaten the Superman bubble fruit. She can wash away anything, including the opponent's power and even chakra. It's just that Akimichi Yen is not strong enough to wash away the opponent's chakra instantly. However, she can wash it little by little, so that the enemy will think that it is a consumption of chakra. By the time the opponent reacts, it is too late to regret because the chakra has been exhausted. But Qiu Daoyan has had this fruit. She did not use it to develop combat skills at first, but used it on her figure first. Now, no matter how much food Qiu Daoyan eats, she can directly absorb the excess calories in the food. Even if she gets a little fat, she can wash away the excess fat. This fruit makes other women envious. Guang, it's not good. What's wrong? Xufeng is in trouble. Huh? What's going on? Nara Guang looked at the anxious Qiu Daoyan, quickly stood up from the chair, came to Qiu Daoyan, and took her hand. Xufeng disappeared in the Kingdom of Flowers, and my daughter sent back a message that she did not find Xufeng in the Kingdom of Flowers. The Kingdom of Flowers? Nara Guang fell into deep thought. The Kingdom of Flowers is a newly established country. In the past 10 years, some members of Gwanga have accepted commissions from the Kingdom of Flowers. After the mission is completed, the commission record states that this country was built on a sea of flowers, but you can't be fooled by the beautiful appearance of flowers. If you accidentally inhale pollen, you will fall into the illusion and can't extricate yourself. Only those with strong willpower can escape. It just so happens that this member of the Light Pavilion is a member of the Kurama family. After falling into the illusion, he escaped instantly. Then I'll go there. I want to go with you. Stay at home. Nara Hikari said and disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, the Flower Kingdom was already under his feet, looking down at the entire Flower Kingdom from a high altitude. This country is just as described, surrounded by a sea of flowers. A layer of light pollen protects this country. He can feel the abnormal energy in the pollen, release the driving force to push the pollen to both sides, and a passage appears in sight. Nara Hikari flew in. When he flew over the Flower Kingdom, he found that the architecture of this country is very special, all built in the shape of a mushroom. Nara Hikari released his perception and began to look for the figure of Tufeng in the Kingdom of Flowers. he knew that Akimichi Tufome had been trying to ease the relationship between himself and Konoha over the years. Akimichi Tufome was the one who hoped that he could return to Konoha the most, in the past 10 years. Akimichi Tufome had been in contact with Akimichi Yen, just for the possibility that Nara Hikari would return to Konoha, even if it was not Konoha, at least the relationship would not be so tense, but Akimichi Tufome also knew that it was very difficult to accomplish this, because of the inaction of the third Hokage. Konoha was severely divided, just as Nara Hikari was recalling. He found that many people had already gathered at his feet. One of them was wearing a bamboo hat with a big flower character written on it. Nara Hikari flew down. Master Hikari, do you know me? Master Hikari's name has long been well known. Flower Shadow stepped forward and spoke respectfully. Have you seen a person named Akimichi Tufome? Akimichi Tufome? Huaying recalled. No. Nara Hikari looked at Huaying for a long time. You'd better tell the truth. As Nara Hikari finished speaking, Huaying was already sweating. He knew that any ninja village where this person appeared would lose a village shadow. He was also afraid. Master Hikari, we really haven't seen a person who took the Akimichi wind. How dare we lie to you? Huaying hurriedly explained, fearing that something bad would happen if Nara Hikari got angry. You'd better not lie to me. Otherwise I will come to you again, Nara Hikari said and flew into the air, continuing to look for Akimichi wind. After Nara Hikari left, Huaying took off her hat. There was already a thin layer of sweat on her forehead. So scary. Even though she had been promoted to the shadow level, she felt that Nara Hikari was like a mountain pressing on her and making her breathless, until Nara Hikari left. Lord Honokage, is he really that terrifying? If you haven't experienced his era, you will never know how terrifying his strength is. Honokage's words made everyone curious, but it was just curiosity, because Nara Hikari hadn't made a move for nearly 10 years. The new generation of ninjas had long forgotten Nara Hikari's existence. Send the news of his appearance to all countries immediately. Yes, Lord Honokage. The ninjas around him disappeared instantly. I wonder if you still remember me? Honokage murmured as he looked at the direction where Nara Hikari left. It has been a day since Nara Hikari came to the Kingdom of Flowers, and Nara Hikari has never sensed Akimichi Takuri. Is he no longer here? Just when Nara Hikari was confused, a shadow soldier emerged from the shadow not far away. A scroll was handed to Nara Hikari. Nara Hikari opened the scroll. What? Orochimaru, I think you are looking for death. Recorded on the scroll, Shadow Soldier saw Orochimaru in the Kingdom of Flowers. At the same time, he also found Akimichi Tofu. Lead the way. Nara Hikari said, and merged with the shadow under his feet together with the Shadow Soldier. When he reappeared, it was already a cave. The ground of the cave was covered with the skin of a monster. Following the Shadow Soldier all the way along the shadow space to the depths of the cave, passing through the shadow, Nara Hikari saw Akimichi Tofu tied to a stool. At this time, he was wrapped in bandages. Although the combination of body appearance and body shape showed that it was Akimichi Tofu, Nara Hikari always felt that something was strange, just as Nara Hikari was about to show up. A figure that looked like Orochimaru turned his head. Hitsu, I didn't expect you to find this place. The figure that looked like Orochimaru looked at Nara Hikari in confusion. You are not Orochimaru. Nara Hikari had naturally seen Orochimaru, although the person in front of him looked and dressed similarly. Nara Hikari's chakra could not deceive him. It was obvious that the other party was not Orochimaru. As Nara Hikari finished speaking, the other party's body changed rapidly. Soon a familiar figure appeared in front of him. Danzo. You again. Hikari, this is the first time we have met in the past 20 years, right? Now that you mention it, it is true. Nara Hikari recalled. They had indeed not seen each other for 20 years. I hope you will pretend that you have not seen anything here today. What do you say? Danzo said while removing the bandage on his face. A Sharingan appeared in his right eye socket. Uchiha Kagumi's death is indeed related to you. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The reason why he was so young was because he was so young. Maybe it was to cover up. Danzo didn't replace both eyes with Sharingan, but judging from the shape of the pupil of this Sharingan, it was an awakened Mangekyō. Is this your confidence? Nara Hikari looked at him with disdain. Each Mangekyō's ability is very special. Before you make a move, you never know what kind of eye technique this eye can release. Nara Hikari didn't know the ability of Danzo's Mangekyō. Danzo also didn't know his strength, but Nara Hikari didn't care. because he also had this thing, but he wouldn't waste it on Danzo. Hikari, you're still as arrogant as ever. I'm arrogant? How am I arrogant? Nara Hikari wanted to explain, but Danzo had already made a move. He bit his finger and slashed his palm to press it on the ground, all in one go. Summoning technique, Danzo shouted loudly, and a cloud of white mist appeared under his feet. After the white mist disappeared, a huge monster appeared in front of Nara Hikari. It was Danzo's summoned beast, the Dream Taper. The Dream Taper can not only release wind escape, but also absorb the opponent's illusion. It can resist ordinary illusion. Attacks, wind escape, vacuum ball. Danzo instantly spit out several wind balls at Nara Hikari. The wind balls came as fast as a sharp blade. Nara Hikari released the driving force to knock the vacuum ball away. At this time, Danzo, holding a kunai, had come in front of him. The kunai in his hand stabbed towards his face. Nara Hikari dodged sideways and punched Danzo in the abdomen. The latter was instantly knocked out. Deeply embedded in the wall, Danzo looked up at Nara Hikari with difficulty. This was his first time fighting with Nara Hikari, and he deeply felt the opponent's terrifying strength, if it weren't for the transplant of Hashirama's cells. With a small amount of yang attribute chakra, the punch just now would have killed him. What was also surprising was that the Sharingan had clearly captured the opponent's movement trajectory just now, but he couldn't avoid the attack. Danzo secretly decided to use the Mangekyō ability. Breaking free from the wall, he ordered the Nightmare Taper to rush towards Nara Hikari first, and he followed closely behind. Explosion, boom. There was a loud bang in the cave. The Nightmare Taper turned into white mist and disappeared. Danzo was shocked, but his body was already on the path, and it was too late to retreat, so he had to bite the bullet and throw a piece of ninja tool, but it was directly bounced away by Nara Hikari. Danzo also passed through the white mist where the Nightmare Taper disappeared, and finally came to Nara Hikari again. Just as he was about to use the power of the Mangekyō, his abdomen hurt again. Damn it, his body flew out again involuntarily. The power of the Mangekyō was forcibly interrupted. His body was embedded in the wall again. What's going on? Why is he so fast? Danzo broke free from the wall again and rushed towards Nara Hikari again. He firmly believed that as long as he kept getting closer to the other party, there would always be a chance to activate the power of the Mangekyō. Unfortunately, although the idea was good, the reality was too cruel. His body was blown away again and again. At this time, the wall behind him had been completely smashed by him. There were Danzo's back marks and blood everywhere on it. Danzo spit out a mouthful of blood and gasped heavily. If he couldn't get close to him, his Mangekyō would be useless. Just as he was thinking about how to deal with it, Nara Hikari's figure disappeared in front of him. You can go to hell now. Impossible. Wind style, super vacuum ball combo. Danzo still refused to surrender, and continued to release wind style ninjutsu, trying to stop Nara Hikari from approaching. Explosion. Dozens of vacuum balls exploded in the air. Wind style, wind strike. Wind style, vacuum wave. Wind style, vacuum sword. Danzo released 3 wind-style ninjutsu in succession, and his body rushed towards the cave entrance. I can't die, I still have a lot of things to do, I still want to be Hokage. Danzo muttered as he rushed towards the cave entrance. Explosion. All the flying ninjutsu were blasted away. Want to run? No way. I'm a 6 paths level. If I let you run, wouldn't it be very embarrassing? Nara Hikari appeared in front of him, released the energy of the explosion fruit. Danzo felt a surge of energy in his body breaking out of his body. The dead souls were surging. Izanagi. Danzo finally couldn't suppress the fear in his heart, released the life-saving skill of the Sharingan. You can reset time, go back to before something bad happened, and do what you want, huh? Nara Hikari didn't expect Danzo to give up the power of the Mangekyō and use the life-saving skill of the Sharingan. This way, his Sharingan might be useless. Let's see how long you can hold on. Nara Hikari didn't have any good solution. Izanagi is indeed a bug-like skill. Explode. Danzo at this time is just like the cultist at the beginning. After being detonated by the energy of Nara Hikari's explosion fruit, it will soon reappear in the original place. Explode. Aggregate. Explode. Aggregate. Nara Hikari simply confronted him. Explode, explode, explode. Aggregate, 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 until 5 minutes passed. Danzo's body was reduced to dust again. This time Danzo did not appear in the original place intact. The dust on the ground did not disappear instantly. Nara Hikari didn't know whether Izanagi had failed or Izanagi's invincibility time had expired. This skill is really tricky. Nara Hikari had to sigh at the power of this move. Even with super strong attack power, he couldn't do anything to launch Izanagi's target. I wonder if an attack that destroys the entire planet in one blow can directly destroy the target. Nara Hikari turned around and was about to leave, and the dust on the ground disappeared instantly. Very capable, but you can't run away. Nara Hikari sneered. He didn't chase Danzo first, because he sensed that this guy didn't leave. Instead, he walked to the side with an unusual look on his face, a kimchi tofu. At this time, his eyes were dull and his body was wrapped in bandages. Just as Nara Hikari was about to help a kimchi tofu up, a white figure suddenly appeared behind him, reverse spiritual summoning technique. A loud shout sounded in Nara Hikari's ears. Then Nara Hikari felt his body lighten. Fuck, that's really insidious. Just when he was about to release his super speed to avoid the suction, he was still a moment too late. Nara Hikari turned into white mist and disappeared on the spot. Nara Hikari, this is the end of your arrogance. Danzo walked out from one side. He laughed while looking at the place where Nara Hikari disappeared. Just as he laughed wildly, a kunai flew out from the white mist that was about to disappear. It hit Danzo's forehead accurately. Danzo widened his eyes and knelt directly on the spot. He looked at the place where Nara Hikari disappeared in disbelief. He couldn't believe that even so, Nara Hikari could still attack him. Danzo fell to the ground with a plop with a full heart of unwillingness. Even if I die, you can't think of coming back again. This was Danzo's last thought. In fact, what he didn't know was that Nara Hikari just wanted to see the world of summoned beasts. Otherwise, how could Nara Hikari do anything with this suction force? With his super speed, he could dodge in the blink of an eye. Nara Hikari felt his body falling continuously, until a world made of rocks appeared under his feet. Is this the world of summoned beasts? Nara Hikari saw the ground covered with dream tapers. At this time, they were still sleeping soundly. Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two of them were so busy that they had to wait for the next moment. Just as Nara Hikari disappeared and went back into the cave, 3 shadow soldiers walked out of the shadows around him. One shadow soldier came to Danzo's body, took out the scroll and put away the latter's body. Nara Hikari naturally couldn't miss this kaleidoscope. The other 2 shadow soldiers walked to a kimchi tofu, helped him up and walked out of the cave. On the other side, Nara Hikari was suspended in the air, looking at the large area of sleeping dream tapers under his feet, looking at the sky above his head that looked like intestinal mucosa. Is this the world of summoning beasts? Just as Nara Hikari wondered if this was different from what he imagined, a mass of mucus fell from the sky. So disgusting. Nara Hikari then realized that he should be in the stomach of some animal. This stomach is like a special ecological environment. There are rocks and creatures. Explode. This time, Nara Hikari released the power of the explosion fruit without hesitation, and it was released with full force. Boom. The huge impact force swept around with high-temperature flames. In an instant, it expanded to the edge. The barrier was instantly shattered. A shrill scream sounded, then there was the sound of a heavy object falling to the ground. The surroundings shook violently, the flames gathered again, and Nara Hikari walked out of the flames, looking at the huge dream taper with a big hole in its stomach. At this time, it was already dying. Nara Hikari looked around. This is the world he remembered: the blue sky, the clear river, the endless mountains, and the green primeval forest. Nara Hikari took a deep breath. This is a different kind of energy from chakra. Nara Hikari greedily took a few deep breaths. Is this natural energy? He could feel that his body had finally changed a little bit. All the energy in his body was heading towards the peak. Boom! A warm current passed through his limbs and bones, then it exploded in his body. His strength had finally improved a lot in 20 years, although he still hadn't passed the 6 paths level, but he did feel that his strength had improved. I should have come earlier if I had known. Nara Hikari didn't care about any summoned beasts before. He thought they were just external objects, so when he got the zero-tailed beast and the tailed beast gene, he didn't use them for himself but gave them to his woman first. Having gained so much benefit here, Nara Hikari suddenly wanted to go to the 3 major summoned beast holy places. Nara Hikari was about to leave here, when suddenly a figure appeared in the air and was landing here. It was not until the figure approached that Nara Hikari recognized him. The other party was the Flower Kingdom Flower Shadow. However, at this time, the Flower Shadow's clothes had been taken off and changed into a female combat uniform. Master Hikari, are you okay? Nothing. How did you end up here? I followed the sound of the explosion into the cave, and saw the reverse summoning formation on the ground, so I came in directly. You also have a dream taper summoning beast. Yes, it was given to me by Danzo. Oh, are you here for revenge? No, Master Hikari, don't get me wrong, I'm not here for revenge, it's just that I can become this flower shadow thanks to Danzo's help, and I promise to help him win the position of Konoha Hokage after I get the position of Flower Shadow. Flower Shadow hurriedly explained for fear that Nara Hikari would misunderstand, this guy is still dreaming of becoming a Hokage. Nara Hikari had to sigh that Danzo's obsession with the Hokage had reached the point of being obsessed. He actually asked people from other villages to help him win the position of Hokage. Although the girl in front of him was also a Kage, she might not be good enough compared to Konoha at that time. Master Hikari, are you going out? Not now, I finally came here, I'll go around, you go back first. Master Hikari, why don't you let me accompany you? Nara Hikari looked at her in confusion. Master Hikari, do you really not remember me? I really don't remember. Nara Hikari recalled for a long time. I almost forgot that you were on the road at that time. During the First Ninja World War, you passed by my village on your way to the land of Earth. Nara Hikari was speechless. It was just passing by, how could I remember? Nara Hikaru always felt that the way this woman looked at him was not right, so it was. I see. Master Hikaru, I thought I could meet you on an equal footing after becoming the Flower Shadow, but I didn't expect you to come to the Kingdom of Flowers. I'm so happy. I'm a little curious, how did you end up here? Didn't you just say that your village was on the way from Konoha to the land of Earth? It's a long story. The woman began to tell the story. The woman's name was Eri, and she was originally a ninja from the grass village of the grass country. However, after the Kage of the grass village was killed by Aburame Tanabe's younger brother Aburame Shirsho, many ninjas from the hidden grass village left the village. Eri was one of those who left the village. Finally, she came here. Eri joined the Kingdom of Flowers just after it was founded. 10 years passed in a flash. The Flower Shadow died in battle to protect the village. Eri, who had the strength of a Kage, took the position of Flower Shadow with the help of Danzo. Then she met Nara Hikaru. Nara Hikaru looked. The look in Eri's eyes when she looked at him was not just simple admiration, but also admiration. Because Eri's eyes never left Nara Hikari during her story, even though Nara Hikari had experienced too many ups and downs, he felt a little uncomfortable at this moment. She won't like me? Or am I just being sentimental? Yeah, Nara Hikari took Eri to fly in the sky for a long time. Night tapers can still be seen everywhere. Wait for me. Yeah. Nara Hikari disappeared instantly. A few seconds later, Nara Hikari returned to Eri's side. Let's go back. Yeah. Just now, Nara Hikari has verified the conjecture. This is also an independent space. The world of summoned beasts is not connected, but just when Nara Hikari was about to leave, a huge, old dream taper walked out of a cave. This is a dream taper that can walk upright. There is a long beard on the chin, a cane in his hand. The shape is very unique. This reminds Nara Hikari of the Toad Sage. Behind it follows a group of dream tapers that walk upright. Nara Hikari flew down with Eri. Master Hikari, do you recognize me? Master Hikari's name is not only known to humans, but also to all of us in the world of summoned beasts. You are not called the Dream Taper Sage, are you? Master Guang is too kind to me. I am not worthy of the title of immortal. I just lived a little longer. Can we learn immortal arts here? We don't know this. Only the 3 holy places can learn it. Okay, then goodbye, Eri, let's go back. Yes. Eri performed the reverse spiritualism and left with Nara Guang. Hey, why is Master Guang so anxious? We have something that is not much worse than immortal arts. The old humanoid taper shook his head. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The moment he left, Nara Hikari thought he heard something, but at this time, he and Eri had returned to the Kingdom of Flowers. just as Nara Hikari's feet had just stepped on the ground, a white shadow instantly appeared in front of him. It was the beheading sword, in the form of the nine-tailed fox. Master, take me to see a Kimichi Tofu. Beheading sword, turned around and led the way. Nara Hikari followed. But after walking a few steps, he found that Eri was still following him. Huh? Aren't you going back to the hidden flower village? I'm not going back. Nara Hikari said nothing more, and followed the beheading sword to jump to the other side of the mountain. Eri followed quickly. When Nara Hikari saw a Kimichi Tofu, the latter had already woken up. His eyes were no longer so dull. Hitsu. How are you? It seems like I had a very long dream. A Kimichi Tofu shook his head to make himself more awake. What happened? Nara Hikari sat next to a Kimichi Tofu. Hey, Hiruzen still wants Danzo to return to Konoha. A Kimichi Tofu sighed, recalling his feelings after seeing Danzo. What happened next? Without a longtime friend, he actually used a summoned beast to attack me. Can I still walk? Yes. A Kimichi Tofu supported himself and stood up. Master Hikari, someone is coming outside. Just as Nara Hikari was about to leave with everyone, Eri, who was standing aside, spoke. Nara Hikari sensed that there were quite a few people approaching. Who is this? A Kimichi Tofu looked at Eri and asked in confusion. Eri, Flower's shadow of the Kingdom of Flowers. Flower's shadow. A Kimichi Tofu couldn't help but look at Eri a few more times. He naturally knew what Nara Hikari was like, with strong strength. He had almost no flaws. His only hobby was lust, and the degree of lust refreshed a Kimichi Tofu's cognition again and again. Now the shadow of a country was following Nara Hikari. A Kimichi Tofu didn't feel anything wrong. Instead, he felt that it was normal for such a thing to happen to Nara Hikari. Just when a Kimichi Tofu was surprised by Eri's identity, thousands of figures came around them, surrounded Nara Hikari and others. I didn't expect that what Danzo said was true. You are really here. As long as we get rid of you, we can attack the Kingdom of Fire without any scruples. A middle-aged man with a bandage on his head looked at Nara Hikari. That's Chiyo and Ebizo from Sand Village. A Kimichi Tofu introduced the identities of the two. Oh, Nara Hikari looked at the two. This was the first time he saw them. At this time, Chiyo was only in her 40s, not much older than Nara Hikari. She had not yet shown signs of old age, and now she looked full of charm. There is really no ugly woman in Hokage. Chiyo must have had a good foundation when she was young. At this moment, Chiyo glanced around. Puppet technique. Wielding a sword, Chiyo raised her hand and pressed it on the ground, and a white mist appeared in front of her. Then a puppet flew out of the white mist and quickly rushed towards Nara Hikari. Nara Hikari released the driving force and knocked away the ninja tool spit out from the puppet's mouth. The puppet raised both hands, and 10 silk threads enveloped Nara Hikari from all directions. Explosion. Nara Hikari released the energy of the fruit. These silk threads exploded directly in the air, driven by the energy of the explosion fruit. The broken silk thread instantly cut through the puppet's body like a sharp blade. The puppet turned into a pile of debris. When the surrounding Sand Village ninjas saw Chiyo take action, they also began to summon their own mechanical puppets. Soon, a group of puppets, under their control, rushed towards Nara Hikari. Explosion. Boom. Then the puppets exploded in their shocked eyes. The fragments of the puppets bounced back to the crowd. No, get out of the way. Chiyo had just felt the horror of the rebound force, but it was too late to remind others at this time. The puppet fragments had already flown into the crowd. Ah! Screams broke out in the Sand Ninja crowd. Dozens of ninjas fell in just one round of the two sides, including 2 senior ninjas. At this time, he also turned into a corpse. Others form a puppet formation. Chiyo realized at this time, Nara Hikari is much more terrifying than the legend says. Below the level of Kage, it is no different from committing suicide. Watching Nara Hikari with caution, there are 8 Kage-level people who came to surround and kill Nara Hikari as planned. Not only her and Ebizo, but also 6 new Kage-level people in recent years. Use all your strength. Okay. Chiyo and the others looked at each other. They were tacitly prepared to use all their strength. They knew that hiding would lead to death. White secret technique, the 10 Kinmatsu people. Chiyo took out a scroll and threw it up, and 10 puppets quickly emerged from the scroll. Then 10 chakra threads extended from Chiyo's hand and connected to the back of the puppet. 10 puppets stood around Chiyo. Puppet technique, the 8 gatekeepers. Ebizo also took out 8 puppets of different shapes. Other Kage-level strongmen also took out their exclusive puppets from the scroll, 4 to 6, each puppet was wearing a white combat uniform and a white cape, puppet fire style, 1,000 layers of fire waves. A puppet standing on Chiyo's right opened his mouth, and a huge fireball spurted out of its mouth, flame oil, then another puppet spurted out flaming oil from its mouth. The flaming oil quickly merged with the fireball, the fire suddenly surged, and the fireball turned into a sea of fire. Nara Hikari looked at the flames that spread from far to near in front of him. This move was somewhat similar to Jiraiya's combination ninjutsu. Explosion. With the injection of the energy of the explosion fruit, the sea of fire instantly burned more fiercely, then it bounced back towards the puppet water style, great waterfall style. A stream of water fell from the sky, it poured on the flames. What shocked Chiyo was that so much water did not change the fire at all. No, this is not an ordinary fire. Chiyo moved her fingers. A puppet stepped forward. Puppet wind escape technique, wind blade, a strong wind composed of wind attribute chakra spewed out of the puppet's mouth. The strong wind turned into countless sharp blades in the air and hit the flames. The wind blades shattered instantly. Chiyo was shocked. She controlled 10 puppets to rise from the sky. She also flew up. She jumped over the flame. However, the lower half of her clothes was accidentally stained with a little flame, and the flame burned instantly. Chiyo hurriedly disconnected the 5 chakra threads, took off her clothes and threw them away. She was already in her 40s, but there was no fat on her waist. In addition to the turbulent waves, her skin was white and tight. Nara Hikari was secretly shocked. As Chiyo's younger brother, Ebizo, he was worried about his sister just now. All the attacks they just released were also detonated by Nara Hikaru's strange ability. He began to think about how to deal with it next. But at this time he also felt a lot of pressure. Legends are indeed legends. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The burning clothes were in the air, and the fire was burning. Chiyo glanced at the clothes that had been burned to ashes with her remaining eyes, then she looked at her body that had been exposed. What a weird blood limit. Chiyo couldn't calm down. His ability is too weird, don't give him time to activate it, Chiyo said and controlled the 10 people to rush towards Nara Hikari. The puppets controlled by others also followed closely. Nara Hikari looked at the puppets rushing over and the sand ninja behind him, just took out 10 ninja tools. The Kimchi Tofu and Honokage Eri on the side had left their original places and greeted each other. Secret technique, partial multiplication technique. The Kimchi Tofu leaped up and his fist instantly grew bigger. He punched hard at a puppet that was charging at him. The puppet raised his right hand, and a ninja sword appeared in his hand, slashing at a Kimchi Tofu's fist. Bang! The fist that performed the multiplication technique was not just as simple as growing bigger, the strength and defense would also increase several times or even dozens of times. The metal ninja tools could no longer cause any damage to a Kimchi Tofu's fist. What happened next was just as I said just now. The ninja sword did not leave any marks on a Kimchi Tofu's fist, but was instead blasted away by the fist. Secret technique, meat bullet spike chariot. The Kimchi Tofu took out 2 kunai chains connected by metal wires. He threw them into the air, and his body grew bigger, until the kunai wrapped around his body. Then a Kimchi Tofu's body rotated and rolled towards the enemy. Puppet fire escape technique. Fire bullet fire dragon technique. A puppet spit out a fire dragon made of flames and quickly rushed towards a Kimchi Tofu. Boom! An explosion sounded. The smoke and dust rolled up by the explosion spread all around. The shadow-level sand ninja stared at the smoke and dust. Suddenly a gust of wind rushed out from it. It was a Kimchi Tofu who was still spinning. Several shadow-level sand ninjas controlled the puppets to spread out to both sides. Secret technique, sea of flowers. Another pleasant female shout sounded from the smoke and dust of these enemies. I saw Eri quickly formed 2 seals with both hands. Then her right hand showed a strange hand shape. A large number of buds appeared around the shadow-level sand ninjas. The flowers opened their buds and large pieces of pollen sprayed out. This scene is somewhat like the advent of the tree world of Senju Hashirama. Puppet wind escape technique, great blowing wind technique. A puppet of a Kage-level sand ninja opened his mouth and released a super wind type ninjutsu, blowing away some of the pollen. The strong wind continued to hit Eri. Secret technique, flower vine technique. Eri formed a seal again, and a green vine rushed out from the ground, blocked the wind escape ninjutsu. Eri and this Kage-level sand ninja soon fought together. Flower Shadow Eri not only releases a secret technique to grow flowers quickly, but also has good physical skills. While using pollen to pull the opponent into the illusion, he bombarded the opponent with physical skills. He barely used this special ability to entangle a Kage-level sand ninja puppeteer. On the other side, Akimichi Tofu was even more powerful, directly restraining two Kage-level sand ninja puppeteers. After being promoted to Kage, the Akimichi family's multiplication technique became more powerful. The strength and defense have been improved to an unknown level. Nara Hikari had seen the power of the multiplication technique on his wife Akimichi. It was just that at Nara Hikari's request, it was used in other improper places, and Eri's secret technique was also very brilliant. Nara Hikari finally threw the ninja tool in his hand. 10 ninja tools quickly turned into half-human forms in the air. They quickly rushed to the surroundings. Some of them went to the shadow-level sand ninja, and some of them rushed directly to the sand ninja puppeteer's troops behind them. Seeing that things were not going well, Ebizo hurriedly controlled 8 puppets to meet them. Bang! In Ebizo's shocked eyes, 2 puppets were instantly shattered. Not good. Secret technique, puppet formation. The remaining puppets returned to his surroundings under Ebizo's control. Chakra increased input, chakra light. Columns rose into the air. It merged with the formation arranged by other shadow-level sand ninjas in the sky. The attack released by one of the ninja tools was blocked by the chakra rays that suddenly appeared. Nara Hikaru looked up at the sky. Explosion. The energy of the explosion fruit was input into the sky chakra energy shield. Boom. The formation was directly shattered. Ebi, Zong and others were dumbfounded. This is a sealing technique that the Sand Village has studied for a long time, and it can block all attacks in the sealing array. It was shattered in front of their eyes, so strong. Ebizo had to sigh that Nara Hikari was too strong. Not only did he have a special blood limit, but he also had a bunch of weapons that could transform into human form. At this time, not only was Ebizo's mood at the bottom, but his companions around him were also in low spirits. The confidence he had when he came was gone, as the formation was broken, one after another. The shadow-level sand ninjas were quickly defeated by the joint efforts of the ninja tools, and Akimichi Tofu. Ebizo was stopped by the beheading sword, in the form of the nine-tailed demon fox. Chio was entangled by Hanakage Eri and could only watch others being defeated. Then he died in the hands of the other party. Go. Chio can't go on like this. They can't defeat Nara Hikari at all. Retreating at this time is the best outcome. In order not to watch her companions being killed, she could only order them to leave, but everyone was entangled tightly, and even the other puppet troops they brought with them suffered heavy casualties at this time. There is a place where you come and go as you please, and the other party obviously does not intend to give them a chance to leave. A puppet controlled by Chio suddenly opened its mouth, and a cloud of purple mist sprayed out of its mouth. This is the poisonous mist developed by Chio herself. It is made by mixing a special plant with a highly toxic substance from the wind country. Even the upper ninja will die of body ulceration if it is infected. But what surprised her was that these opponents who suddenly appeared did not seem to be affected by the poisonous mist. Chio looked at the opponents who moved freely in the poisonous mist, then he took out a few small cans and threw them on the ground. A cloud of green mist dispersed. It covered everyone's sight. Go. Quickly. Chio shouted, but just as they were about to leave here while the other party's vision was blocked, a voice like the death god of hell sounded outside the smoke. Explosion. Boom. The explosion sounded among all the sand ninjas, and then the flames and shock waves spread among them. All the puppets were shattered. The sand ninjas with the strength of the Kage could only watch their bodies being blown away by the shock wave. Then they were engulfed by the flames that approached later. Nara Hikari used the power of the floating fruit to pull back the 10 ninja tools, as well as Eri and Akimichi Tofu. When they returned to Nara Hikari, the shock waves and flames had also dissipated. The place where Chio and others had been was revealed. A big pit had appeared there. At this time, Ebizo and other Kages had turned into corpses. Chio was injured in many places at this time. If she had not had a strong recovery ability, she would have died in the explosion just now. But at this moment, she was already dying. Nara Hikari walked in front of her. Chio opened her eyes with difficulty and glanced around. She saw the dead Ebizo and a group of sand ninjas. She felt unwilling and regretful. Then she closed her eyes, her face showing helplessness in welcoming death. Tears also flowed down. Of course, this was not fear but regret. They were too arrogant. They thought that they could kill Nara Hikari by gathering thousands of people, but they didn't expect that they didn't even touch the corner of his clothes. Thousands of Sand Ninja Puppet elite troops were wiped out, only she was left to survive. Nara Hikari looked at her. Should I use this Mangekyō or not? Nara Hikari looked at Chiyo's mature body. The clothes on her body could no longer cover her proud figure. Well, since you are also a beauty, I will let you give me a few children. It will not be in vain for you to come all the way to kill me. Just consider it as your atonement. On the other side, Chiyo, who had just been waiting to die, had recovered a little while Nara Hikari was hesitating with the help of powerful medical skills. She was waiting for an opportunity for Nara Hikari to relax his vigilance, but after waiting for a long time, the other party did not take the next step. Chiyo opened her eyes and looked at Nara Hikari in front of her in confusion, then her mouth opened wide, with an unbelievable look. Because she saw an eye that should not appear in the Nara clan. Uchiha's Sharingan. How do you have Uchiha's Sharingan? Chiyo was surprised, but she stopped talking here. Nara Hikari's Mangekyō had released its power. Chapter 91. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The young man was shocked. Kaleidoscope. Not only Chiyo was shocked, but also Akimichi Tofu, who was standing aside. His heart was also in turmoil at this moment. I can't figure out why the secret technique of the Nara family is not the shadow. Nara Hikari's shadow may be different from that of the family, but it is still a shadow. But what about the Sharingan? This Sharingan appeared in Nara Hikari's eyeball. Is it Nara Hikari's, or someone else's? Akimichi Tofu's heart was filled with 100,000 questions. Master. Chiyo stood up with difficulty and looked at Nara Hikari respectfully. Well, you recover first, we will leave here later. Yes, Master. Chiyo raised her delicate hand to release green chakra and pressed it on her own belly. Her body began to recover slowly. Nara Hikari watched Chiyo's operation. Medical skills can be used like this. Tofu, what are your plans next? Let's go back to Konoha first and tell Hiruzen about Danzo. Akimichi Tofu recovered from his shock. Well, okay, then we'll separate now. Yeah. Nara Hikari said and took Chiyo and Eri into the air. Just as he was about to speed up and leave, a shout came from the ground. Hitsu, thank you for saving me. If you have time to come to Konoha, I'll buy you a drink. Let's talk about it when we have time. Nara Hikari took Chiyo and Eri and disappeared in the air at an accelerated speed. Akimichi Tofu shook his head helplessly, then he jumped up in the direction of Konoha, office of the Kazekage of Sand Village in the Land of Wind. What did you say? Ebizo is dead. Chiyo is missing. The fourth Kazekage Luojia's eyes widened, looking at the Sand Ninja who came to report the news with an unbelievable look. Lord Kazekage, we have searched nearby for a long time, but still haven't found Lord Chiyo's body. The bodies of others have been transported back to the village. Let's go and take a look. Soon, Kazekage Luojia came to the entrance of the village. He looked at the ground full of corpses. He squatted down beside the 7 corpses in the front. Ebizo's very familiar face came into his sight. Then he looked at the bodies of the other 6 Kage-level strongmen. These are all Kage-level puppet masters who have emerged in recent years. Unexpectedly, they all died in the hands of Nara Hikaru in one battle. Let all Sand Ninjas evacuate from the border of the Land of Fire immediately. Luojia stood up and issued the latest orders to the people around him. Yes, Lord Kazekage. Several senior ninjas disappeared instantly. Border of Fire country. The Sand Ninjas who received the news of retreat did not hesitate to organize the camp. All that could be taken away was sealed in the scroll, and those that could not be taken away were of course destroyed. Tens of thousands of Sand Ninjas quickly left the border of Fire country and evacuated quickly towards Wind country. This action attracted the attention of other countries. They speculated on the reasons for the retreat of the Sand Ninjas. When they learned that Chiyo, Ebizo and other strong men disappeared in Flower country, everyone realized that something had happened in Wind country, but the 4th Kazekage Luojia, adhering to the idea that they could not let their village lose, directly blocked all the news. Other countries were just guessing, but they didn't know what happened, and they were still preparing to attack Fire country. When the news of the retreat of Wind country was sent to Nara Hikari's desk, who had already returned to his country, Nara Hikari couldn't help laughing. Hitachi, what are you laughing at? Nara Masami did not answer Tachibana's words, but handed the information to Tachibana. After taking the scroll and looking at it for a few times, Tachibana also laughed out loud. This Luo Jie is quite interesting. Let them bite each other. Has anything happened recently? Everything is very peaceful. That's good. Nara Hikari stood up and walked in front of Tachibana, reached out and held her little hand. Let's go home. Yeah. Tachibana certainly knew what this guy was going to do. While feeling shy, she was also looking forward to it. The next day, an unexpected visitor appeared in the territory of the Land of Light by boat. The members of the Light Pavilion immediately reported the news to Nara Hikari. Are you saying that the fourth Kazekage is here? Yes, Pavilion Master. He just killed thousands of sand ninjas. Shouldn't he hate me? There must be something strange about coming to the Land of Light at this time. Pavilion Master, I don't think so. You know nothing. Where are they? We are almost entering the Hidden Light Village. Then let's wait for them to come. I want to see what Luo Jie is going to do. More than 10 minutes later, Luo Jie, the fourth Kazekage, led by Tachibana, entered Nara Hikari's office. Master, Luo Jie was stunned when he saw Nara Hikari. This was his first meeting with Nara Hikari. He didn't expect Nara Hikari to be so young. Luo Jie, what are you doing in the Land of Light? On behalf of the Kingdom of Wind, I want to be on good terms with the Kingdom of Light forever. Luo Jie breathed a sigh of relief after saying this. He really didn't have the courage to be an enemy of Nara Hikari now. The Sand Village was really scared. Nara Hikari was like a mountain, pressing down on everyone's heads. This pressure made him feel a little breathless. The second Kazekage, the third Kazekage, the second Mizukage, the second Reikage, and some village shadows of small countries all died directly or indirectly at the hands of Nara Hikari, obviously parted ways with Konoha. But how come they still appear? And I don't know if it's a coincidence or intentional, but they can always inadvertently destroy their plans. Before coming to the Kingdom of Light, Luo Jie had held an important meeting with the top leaders. The final decision of the meeting was that as long as Nara Hikari was alive for one day, the Sand Village of the Kingdom of Wind would never participate in any war with the Kingdom of Fire, until Nara Hikari was killed, being on good terms forever. Yes, Master. Luo Jie clapped his hands. 10 girls walked in from outside. Nara Mitsuru glanced at the 10 girls, then stared at Luo Jie, making the latter feel uneasy. He was afraid that Nara Mitsuru would suddenly take action and leave him here. Luo Jie, what do you mean? Master, don't get me wrong. I heard that the third Mizukage is here, and he brought a few beauties with him. I don't know what to give him, so I can only learn from the Mizukage. Well, I'll keep the people. I agree to your request. As long as you don't take the initiative to provoke me, I can consider not being your enemy. That's great. Luo Jie breathed a sigh of relief. Anything else? Nothing else. Luo Jie stood up from the sofa, said goodbye to Nara Hikari and left quickly. Nara Hikari looked at Luo Jie's back as he left, and only withdrew his gaze when he disappeared from his sight. Looked at the 10 girls again. Tachibana. Nara Hikari shouted to the outside of the door. Tachibana walked in angrily. Take them back to the Nara family. Got it. Tachibana rolled her eyes at Nara Hikari, and then left with the girls. It's true, although the climate and environment of the Wind Country are bad, there is no shortage of beauties. Nara Hikari reopened a scroll on the table and started reading. The Hidden Leaf Village in the Land of Fire. Hiruzen, we have been friends for many years. Are you still thinking of letting Danzo return to the village? He almost killed me. The roar of Akimichi Tofu came from the Hokage's office. Tofu, I know you must be very angry now, but is there any misunderstanding here? Misunderstanding? Hiruzen, it seems that you have really changed. The position of Hokage has made you slowly lose yourself. Akimichi Tofu said and walked out the door. Akimichi Tofu stopped at the door. Danzo is dead. Akimichi Tofu said and left. Hiruzen sighed.